Persinger claims that he can induce these delusions in healthy test subjects by overstimulating their temporal lobes. He does this by generating electromagnetic fields in their brains. Persinger's research team uses an EEG to record these quasi-mystical experiences as they occur.
The common experience is the feeling of knowing, hearing your voice called, your name called, hearing knowledge being given to you. If the person personally identifies them as being God or some other deity, that's the powerful phenomenon that drives individuals.
Persinger believes that cult leaders who hear voices suffer from temporal lobe epilepsy, a condition that naturally overstimulates the brain with electromagnetic activity.
There is a distribution of cult leaders which are convinced that they are doing this by cosmic consent, and almost invariably they have to proselytize. They have to spread the word.
Shoko Asahara preached Armageddon. Another delusional cult leader, Adolfo Constanzo, claimed that the voices of gods urged him to sacrifice humans. April 1989, Matamoros, Mexico, near the US border. Police exhumed 13 mutilated bodies. One of the victims was an American university student, Mark Kilroy. His brain had been removed and his legs cut off. Other bodies showed signs of torture. Many had been decapitated. Nearby, police found a shed filled with evidence of black magic and human sacrifice. Inside, Mark Kilroy's brain was found stewing in a cauldron called an ngunga. The owner of the shed was cult leader Adolfo Constanzo, a voodoo-practicing drug dealer. His cult members believed he possessed supernatural powers. They helped him commit cold-blooded murder.
Torture and subjecting the unwilling to human sacrifice are the most extreme forms of violence. These are the acts I consider the most heinous on my scale of evil. But before I can place Constanzo on my scale, I must look at his entire life.
Adolfo Constanzo was born in Miami in 1962. His Cuban mother was a priestess of the African religion Palo Mayombe. She believed that Constanzo was a chosen one, destined for greatness in the world of evil, and she groomed him for this future. As a child, Constanzo was taught to torture and kill animals. He was praised for exhibiting no remorse. At the age of 21, Constanzo took possession of an nganga, which was filled with a brew made from sacrificed animals. This ceremony concluded his training as a Palo Mayombe priest.
Learning almost nothing but black magic and animal sacrifice since birth, it is clear that Constanzo's environment played a key role in who he would become. Raised by his mother to believe that he was destined for greatness, Constanzo developed megalomania. Desensitized to inflicting pain and confident in his own supernatural abilities, Constanzo had all the elements of a deadly cult leader.
In 1984, Constanzo set up shop as a Palo Mayombe priest in Mexico City. He quickly gained a following by performing ritualistic cleansings and telling fortunes. He became a trusted advisor to wealthy drug kingpins, advising them when it was safe to move their product. They were unaware that Constanzo was secretly bribing the police for this information. The drug dealer's profits were increasing, and Constanzo was perceived to have supernatural powers. The dealers treated him with reverence, believing he was a godlike protector. Some became students of his black magic religion and demonstrated their devotion by obeying his every command, even turning over partial control of their drug cartels. Constanzo grew rich and powerful and quickly became more than a priest for hire. He led his devoted followers into the world of human sacrifice. In 1988, the cult leader moved his operations to a remote ranch near the Texas border. He built a temple in a small shed and ordered his followers to bring him victims for sadistic human sacrifice rituals. Over the course of 2 years, Constanzo and his cult members slaughtered 13 people in the little shed. They targeted the poor and petty criminals, whose disappearances went largely unnoticed. But when they snatched Mark Kilroy, an American student whose family had powerful political connections, everything changed. The media picked up on Kilroy's disappearance. When police found his body on Constanzo's ranch, they also uncovered details of the twisted cult.
The FBI joined in the search today for leaders of a drug smuggling cult that slaughtered at least 13 people in a Mexican border town.
Police cornered Constanzo in Mexico City, but a member killed him before he could be arrested.
Adolfo Constanzo did not simply commit murder. He compelled his followers to bring him victims to use in human sacrifice. The ritualized torture and the degree to which Constanzo enjoyed inflicting pain on his victims before killing them correspond in my scale of evil as some of the most heinous of crimes. For this reason, Adolfo Constanzo scores a 22 on my scale. This is the highest category on the scale.
Cult leaders like Adolfo Constanzo possess highly inflated egos. They recruit followers who worship them as gods. Is this narcissism linked to their violence?
Narcissists are fine as long as you praise them or treat them nicely, but as soon as you insult them or criticize them in any way, they become very defensive and very aggressive.
Dr. Brad Bushman, a senior research professor at the University of Michigan, studies the causes and consequences of human aggression.
This sense of entitlement can be dangerous when you think you're better than other people.
To test his theory, Bushman conducted an experiment to find out how narcissists react when they are insulted. He looked for participants with the biggest egos using a series of multiple-choice questions.
Participants are forced to choose between one of two responses. For example, if I ruled the world, it would be a better place, versus the thought of ruling the world frightens the hell out of me.
Once Bushman identified the narcissists,
Just want to come in and have a seat over here.
he asked them to write an essay. They were told that their essays would be marked by someone they could not see. In fact, there was no other person. The essays were assigned a grade.
The experimenter then flips a coin. If it's a head, the experimenter writes an A on the paper along with the comment, "Great essay." If it's a tails, the experimenter writes an F on the essay along with the comment, "This is one of the worst essays I've ever read."
Okay, here's your partner's evaluation of your essay.
To explore how narcissists reacted to a failing mark compared to how a control group reacted, Bushman afforded all those participants who received poor marks the opportunity to confront the person they believed had scored their exam.
You can't give people guns or knives or even boxing gloves. So in our studies, what we do is they have a chance to blast their partner with loud noise through a pair of headphones. And they get to choose the level of noise, as well as how long their partner suffers,